Hello and welcome everyone back to the Magical Witchy Show channel and TV. I am Star Ravenhawk.
And I am Rhonda Allen. Welcome back this week, everyone. And we
Yay!
have a special guest. Our special
Yes.
guest this week is Meghan McSweeney, otherwise known as Dr. Witch.
Hey guys, how are you?
Hi, Doctor. How should we refer to you as Dr. Witch?
You can call me Megan. You can absolutely.
Okay, all right. So it's a pleasure meeting you. I was looking forward because Rhonda has been talking about you so much. I couldn't wait to have you on. So it's very happy to have you here
Both
today.
Yeah.
good. It was a lie. No, I'm kidding.
No.
Okay.
Hey, I have been excited. I'm so happy you could make it. I'm so happy you could come to our show tonight. So, welcome to Magical Witchy World TV. Let us introduce you to all of the people watching live or on playback. So, I'm going to go through your bio. Megan has been a part of the magical and spiritual community for over 15 years. They have trained in multiple modalities such as Reiki, vibrational therapy, IET, and crystal healing, to name a few. Their magical expertise is in the realm of ritual magic, root working, and divination of all kinds. Their first love was writing and psychology, which is reflected in their academic career of having a degree in professional writing and their degree in neuroscience and clinical psychology. They also have 15 years of occult and esoteric studies, which they constantly pursue to gain more knowledge for themselves and for their clients. As they've grown in their practice, they've interwoven the spiritual and scientific approaches in order to treat the whole person instead of just the pieces. They offer ritual magic, ritual tools, ritual candles, workshops, readings, and healing sessions.
Yeah.
Megan, Dr. Witch, can be found on IG, Instagram at Dr. Witch, Dr.Witch, DOCTR.witch, and by email at drwitch1111 at gmail. And we will be scrolling that information throughout the show. So welcome, and welcome again.
Yeah.
So honored to be here. You guys
Yeah.
always have amazing guests, so I can't believe I'm part of that list now. So I love
Oh,
watching,
yeah,
guys. And happy
right
Absolutely.
on.
74th episode. Over
Yes, it
here,
is
right?
our 74th episode. Yeah. We're
Yeah.
clicking and
Thank
going,
you.
right? We've been keeping count. So
Yeah,
Yes.
good.
so we've been looking forward to this conversation with you. So I'm going to be giving our first question that we usually ask everyone because we don't want to, we want to let everyone know that we're all different and we all call ourselves different things. So I guess kind of going back a bit, if you could, you may have started off as a maybe as a witch or a Wiccan or whatever it is, and then you ended up with where you are now and what you call yourself or identify yourself as. And it's not a matter of what other people has titled you as, but what your journey, your personal journey with that, and you know what you end up calling yourself presently.
Absolutely. So I would say the biggest thing for me, what I truly see myself as, is an alchemist. Like at
Okay.
my core, I am an alchemist. I transmute, I transform, I turn things, I turn pain into gold. That is
Okay.
essentially what I do. And I at first started out as the enlightened cat because I was very much into writing and psychology and just self help and healing, and then that kind of turned into the essence of healing. And then it turned into Dr. Witch because I was going for my doctorate in neuroscience and clinical, and obviously the witch part of it. And a witch at that point, when I came out with the title, when I came out of the broom closet for my Roman
Mhm.
Irish Catholic family, they're like, "What?" And I was like, "Well, you guys kind of already knew this, but and even when I came out with that title, which still had the taboo, and it still does have
It
the
still
taboo.
does, yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? But I wanted to own that, and I wanted to bring a better light to it because for me, witch means keeper of the earth. And that is what I want to be seen as or approached as. But at my core, I am most definitely an alchemist.
Okay. All right.
Beautiful.
Sounds great.
Love
This
that.
is great. Yeah.
So that takes us then to our question of now we have to go back in time. So you gave us
Oh,
a little preview. You gave us a little intro into what initially saw yourself as, or how you termed yourself or called yourself. But tell us about what brought you to this practice. How did you find yourself coming into this work and being, as you say today, an alchemist? What brought you into this world?
well, I think most of us can relate to this particular point, but it's trauma. I
Mm.
woke up one day and I realized I'm trying to censor myself how messed up my life was, and
You
that it
can
was my
speak
own.
freely over here. There's
All
no
right,
concern.
how messed up my life was, and how of it was a lot of my own doing, because I wasn't taking ownership of myself. I was
Right.
giving a lot of ownership to other people, and that really caused my life to go awry. And I had this happen to me 3 times in my life where I just woke up one morning and I'm like, I've had enough. I don't want to do this anymore. So I started my gateway drug actually was Reiki and the chakra system. Um,
Mm.
I taught myself how to read cards with playing cards when I was very, very young. And my grandmother taught me how to do tea leaf readings when I was very, very young. But when I really got into my solid practice, it was probably when I was like 19, 20, where I was overweight. I was just belligerent. I was angry. I was still giving and stuff like that, but like I was just very, very angry. And I had been in therapy for a long time, and it just wasn't cutting it. And then, I've done magic in between since I was like what 10, 12. But
Mhm.
then I really got into the practice of understanding the elements, that I was the elements, that yes, I may not have control of the things outside of myself yet, but I definitely have control of the things within me. So let's
Yes.
regulate that. Let's see what is out of place and how can I put that back into place and stop hurting myself and stop hurting others, because
Mm.
relationships were so toxic for me because
Mm.
that's what I was used to. And that beautiful Irish Catholic guilt, if you're suffering, that means you're doing right.
Right.
Right, right, right. Yeah.
You know what? I don't want to do that anymore. I don't, life is meant to be enjoyed and not just
Yeah.
endured. And
Right.
I had to pave and really literally make a path for myself in order to find that. And I started
Mhm.
doing divination more. I concentrate heavily now in deity work and root working, candle magic,
Mhm.
and it's just, to me, magic is a physical demonstration of will, so
Mm.
it's
Mhm.
just,
Mhm.
it's taking that and putting out something that you can see, that you can manipulate, you can sit with, that you can make a bridge both to your outside world with your inside world. And
Right.
that's what set me on this path, is like I need to clean myself up. um,
Right.
That's a beautiful story. I mean, that's a beautiful message.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just want to say, I want to say that I know many people who are witches, magicians, mages, however they choose to term themselves, but they come to it from something of a similar story, meaning they were doing work on self,
mhm.
and that's what led them to this type of they were doing self work, yes, and then it led them down this path. So that was
Yeah.
really interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Absolutely.
The
And
great work, as they call it,
yeah.
Right, the great work, exactly.
And you actually struck on a word that I, when you think about it, it's kind of relates to a lot of people, because the word trauma,
Mhm.
people don't
Mhm.
understand that it's the reason why people become Christians or whatever of the big religions. For whatever thing that occurred, that happened to them, they fall back on whatever religion it is, and they find solace there, or whatever it is. And same thing with witches or anyone coming. We are in a way traumatized from the big religions that we left with our families, and we are starting our own path. And it's so funny because, again, you stated something that's true. It's not just the trauma and all of that and finding ourselves. Is part of it is learning to accept responsibility and accountability for ourselves.
Yes.
Yes.
And that's something to me, a lot of religions do not do, because
Right.
there's a blame for everywhere else. And it's the reason why they could commit crimes and do whatever they want during the week. And then on Sunday show up and
Exactly.
go, I'm forgiven.
Yes.
I
He has
feel
given
like
me forgiveness.
I feel like the essence of the larger organized religions is you are giving your will over to someone else to reconcile those transgressions that you do and your misunderstandings. They will solve it for you. No, I will solve it for me.
Yes.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know, and I
Yes.
think that's why paganism, witchcraft, whatever sects you're into, it brings the power back, you know,
Yeah.
and that's why I work so heavily with Hecate and Santa Morte, because it works with the marginalized people, the oppressed, the repressed, is that it brings the power back to the people so that they can actually be within their power. And that will bring more contentment. And I swear to God, if more people were more content and peaceful with themselves, we wouldn't have such a shitty world.
Yeah.
Thank you
And
very
that
much.
accountability is a
Yeah.
huge part of it. So when you said
Huge.
it, I was like, yes, because what we watch right now. I mean, adults that do not take responsibility or accountability for things that they're doing, yet
Yep.
they will turn to the kids that they're raising and say, "Be accountable," and yet the adult grows up and does not want to do that. It
Yeah.
does not make any
Where is the
logical sense.
example? Where is and you know, this is a tangent, but that I love little lights. Like I love children, and
Yeah.
Yes,
why I'm involved in a lot of children's lives, because that is our future. And if you
right.
don't cultivate that light, and if you don't cultivate that light to have a grounding cord and a spine, look at what's happening in our world.
Yes, yes,
Because they don't have spines. They don't have a way to question or to think or to find the answers for what
critically,
they're
yeah.
looking for. I remember back in high school, I went to a Catholic high school, but I had the brother Richard, Franciscan, and I really loved his point. He said to me, the core of wisdom is not knowing everything. It's about knowing where to find the answer. And
Right,
that struck a chord in me. I'm like, oh, well, as long as I'm hungry, I'll find the answers.
right,
Right.
right. Exactly,
Well
exactly.
said. Well
And
said.
in a way it's all about that critical thinking and the means to be able to find your own way with certain things. And if you're doing that, you are accepting accountability and responsibility for yourself. And
Yes.
that is a huge thing, bigger than people realize, especially right now we're watching it, so that's a huge thing.
Yep.
So I thank you for the answers with that. Okay, so the next question kind of segues a bit into um, basically asking you, from your point of view, not anyone else's, but from your point of view, what does it mean to be Dr. Witch or the alchemist? What does it mean to you?
Uh, it really has evolved, but lately I've really kind of settled into this space of really just being transmutation, like in living like flesh, like being able to go into somebody else's life, helping them see the patterns, and showing the different pathways that they can go in order to rectify or reintegrate those patterns that they've either are rejected or avoided, or maybe that they're not in themselves enough to harness those opportunities.
Mm,
You know, that's literally what I did for myself, and that's what I do for my clients, like the best way that I can to help them to get to their highest active potential. um,
right,
Yeah.
and like that, I highly believe in the violet flame. You know, I also carry that with me wherever I go. And that, to be Dr. Witch, is a space of inclusivity, of embracing, but I will tell you where you fuck up, but I'll love you,
Yeah.
and I'll give you the how to not fuck up. But at the same time, don't you worry, I'm doing the same thing to myself every day.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
Right.
so it's always a balance. You know, I know I already mentioned her, but you know, my practice is very Hecatean. So I'm always justice bound. I'm always compassionate. I always have temperance. You know, the five virtues, and I have you know, I will make sure that things are stay down a certain path for myself, but also for my clients, but also giving them choice. And,
right, right,
and
Right.
doctor also the place that you go to when you need those real answers. Now,
right,
if you're looking for someone to hold your hand and to tell you you're okay, I am not the one for you. Um, but if
That
you're
and that.
and you
right,
want to dive deeper and you really want to understand the unseen and the unknown, then yes, I am the one to come to.
right,
Right
right.
on. Right on.
And
That's
it's interesting that you said that when they come to you, you're letting them know whether they're fucking up or not, and that you're letting, the one other part to that was you're also letting them know you do that with yourself as well, because
Hmm.
it
yes.
means that none of us are perfect. There's no such person on this planet. We all
Right.
make mistakes, and we have to course correct it, and all those
Yes.
different things. And that's something, again, that's all part of the accountability and the responsibility for oneself,
Yes.
that again a lot of people do not take
No.
for
Especially
themselves.
especially when you're of service. You
Yeah,
Yeah.
serve food on a dirty plate. Like that
Exactly.
very much about integrity, because if I can't
right,
hold my
right.
account,
Absolutely,
if I
absolutely.
can't tell myself that I'm full of shit, how dare I do that to you? You know?
So
Right,
true.
exactly.
Oh my God. That is like the biggest thing right now. And just not to go on a tangent myself, but it's, we have a lot of great teachers, a lot of people that, I love studying with and working with, and a lot of people in the community, et cetera. And I I am challenged sometimes to understand, is this information that they're sharing that they themselves, or I question, are they themselves living the walk? Are they walking their talk? Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
Oh
And
yes. Oh
it
yes.
yes, that is it's a big deal.
that's a
And
big
like you
deal.
said, we
That's
Or,
a
don't want to.
when, you're out and about and you just, see people stealing your stuff,
Right. Oh my
or
God.
selling it underneath, a different name. And I'm like, oh, that's cute. That's mine. That's okay.
Yeah.
And in
Yeah.
3 months, you'll understand how terrible this is for you. Good luck.
Yes. It's all over. It's all
yeah,
over.
yeah.
Sad but true.
Mhm.
Well, okay. Now that's a whole other chapter.
Oh, that's
But I
a
love
whole
that.
lot.
That's a big one. That's a big one. Tell us about how, and since we're on this thing about, you know, not just talking it, but walking the talk, tell us how you fit magic in your life. How does it fit into your day to day?
It is everything to me. It's literally everything to me. So today is
Yeah.
Friday. It's Venus's day. I always
Yes.
try to wear planetary colors to match the day, to have
Uh,
the intention of that. Different jewelry that I wear have different intentions, the crystals in my tits, like
yep.
everything. I always have my moldavite. I have specific things that I wear when I'm reading or when I'm doing healing sessions that are involve um, you know, oh my god, I just totally lost my thought. ADHD.
It's okay, it
But
No, that's
yeah,
happens.
okay.
that's how I also have probably 6 different altars in my home that I say hi
Hmm.
to every day.
Right
Um,
on.
I also make sure that I make time for meditation, even if it's just 15 minutes to ground
Yes.
myself, especially if I have a long day with clients. Um, and I also I do this thing in the morning where I put sugar into my tea and I say my intention of the day and I stir it in.
Yeah.
I'll even I'm so much of a geek that I will make sure that I look up the moon phase and where the moon is that day to see how terrible am I going to be to people today, so I can curve myself. Um,
Love
I mean, I'm very
I love
truthful.
it. Right on. Yeah. No, true.
Um,
Absolutely.
I
Sign up.
Understandably.
I always have a piece of purple on me. Usually it's my hair, but you can see she needs to be
Yeah,
up.
I see it.
Um, and I always make sure that even when I'm in a space like a very because I'm human, I have frustrating days, and if I feel like I'm in that
Right.
space, I'll make sure I will take myself out of that and breathe. Like I do the things that I tell my clients to do. How do you think I found these coping mechanisms? I'm usually going through them too, and I do by the moon phases, but I work very, very heavily with planetary magic. So I have different things that I do days. I also work with a Goetia, and obviously Hecate. I'm sorry, I have to say her name at least 3 times within a conversation. So we have satisfied that. Um,
That's fine. It's all
but
good.
yeah,
Yep.
every, everything's become magical. I have sigils on my mirrors. I even put sigils on my car. Like everything.
Yeah,
Right
that's good.
on.
That's good.
Yes.
And you make everything relatable, which is cool.
Like
That's
when
great.
Mercury retrograde comes around, I go out there with my Archangel Michael oil. I put it on every tire. I put the sigil of freaking Mercury on my hood. I'm like, not this time. We gotta make it.
That's awesome.
Right on.
That's awesome. And
It's
also, I'm
right
sure you do
on.
something regarding parking tickets, making sure you don't get any parking
Oh
tickets.
yeah, the violet flame right around that, so it's invisible. Nobody
I
sees.
know. I do the invisible thing
Yes.
too. I do the
Yes.
invisible thing.
Yes. Yes.
It's so funny.
Exactly.
I recently did something to make the car, my car, as invisible as possible. And I'm thinking, I'm saying repeatedly for parking tickets.
Yeah.
Then, as I'm coming off the bridge, driving off the Williamsburg Bridge, and I am
Mhm.
right next to a car, and he just starts coming over as if
Oh
I'm
no.
not there, and I'm like, did I make sure that it was only tickets? Because
Oh no.
because I'm
Yes.
like, I had to beat him. I'm like, I am right next to you, and I'm like, did I not take it too far or something like that?
It's like when an abundance spell goes wrong and that you get an abundance of something that you absolutely don't need. And I'm like,
Yeah,
Exactly.
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 Did I not word this correctly or
So,
something like that?
yeah,
But that shows you,
so
even with
true.
many years under our belts, we still make mistakes or we
of
forget something,
Yes.
and it means that we're all human,
course.
and it's
Yes.
very simple.
And
Okay, so
there's always growth and work.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So if you could kind of tell us a little bit about what's important to you right now, or what has become important to you.
First word that comes to mind is justice.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
Celebration for all people everywhere.
Yes.
That
Equally so. That
is
is, I
equally
agree. That's a
equity
huge thing.
community building, and getting out in the streets and making sure that we can actually see that we are connected and that we are not divided, and that is part of the plan.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That
Fabulous.
is
Which
wonderful.
literally which literally segues into this next question, which is, I mean, justice, huge, and within the community. So tell us about your work in community right now. What's important? What are you doing community wise right now?
So we all know that this year has been a shit show, um,
Yes.
with different political things, and nobody
Mm,
tell me that witchcraft is not political, because it is innately political
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
radical. So during everything that's going on with Gaza, I'm not sure if I can say this, but I'm still gonna say it.
Yeah.
Everything that was
Say
going
it.
on
Do
with
you?
Gaza, I went down to the encampments by Rutgers. I dressed up. I made sure that I wasn't recognizable. Because one of my friends
Hmm.
was working there. They asked me to give like a rally, session, and I
Hmm.
did. And
Right on.
and the community there was so solid that I was like, we could do this. Like, we could actually make a difference.
Right.
So I make sure that I'm involved with those things. I make sure, I've done things with my own coven as well for Gaza, for Palestine, and just making sure that we don't shut up. And like, if you
Right.
think you're tired of hearing it, can you imagine being tired of like actually living the nightmare that we're hearing and we're seeing every day? Um,
Hmm.
so that is a very, very big cause to my heart.
Right on.
And even things that are going in Ukraine and Uruguay, the Congo, like, as much as these terrible things that are happening, in a way, it is shedding our eyes to more things that were not seen before, as much as they
right,
needed
right,
to be seen. And I am not
Yes.
quiet about it at all. If you see me
Right
out
on.
there, I am always wearing my scarf to represent,
Hmm.
Gaza, Palestine, liberation for all people, not just one
right.
people,
Hmm.
all people.
Yes.
Um, and that's always been a big thing for me, even when I was younger and angry. Justice was a big thing for me.
Right
And with my
on.
community, like my side project, Crossroads Community, that is where I'm building more things. I put on events for that. I do offer community ritual, and if you can't afford it, you are still welcome in Circle. I'm just making magic as accessible as possible, because we're all in this place
Fabulous.
where we
Right,
feel so incredibly disconnected. Um,
right, right,
and as much as we have so much connectivity, we're doing this here online, there's still that separation piece. And I feel
Yes.
that it's very, very important to make sure that we make these spaces, and we make these spaces large, and we make them loud, and we make them
Yes.
embrace. And that way we can flood this energy that's out there to people who are looking for a space to
right,
looking
right,
for a space to maybe fight for causes such as these, but they
Yes.
don't know where to start. um,
right, right,
so, I've definitely have taken on a lot of different things. I don't post about it because I don't need to. When you see
Right.
me out in the community, you see me out in the community.
Yeah.
I'm not here for the performative part of it, because that's bullshit
Thank
to
you.
me.
Yes.
Real about it. Like, even when I went to the encampments and I like took my sunglasses off, I had two people who recognized me, like, wait, are you Dr. Witch? I was like, I was not here, but yes. um,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
they were hunting people down, like, so and that also goes to like the cultivating community. Like I've always felt that way because people like myself, I've always been in marginalized situations where, you know, I was never
Mm.
accepted for who I was. And, you
Mhm.
know, let's be real, I have a certain color in my skin, so I'm going to make sure I make a bridge for everybody else behind me. And you know,
Right, right,
that's
Mhm.
with
Mhm.
the platform that I have, and that's a platform I'm going to use.
right,
Right
right.
on. Right on.
And it's so funny because
Word.
we all, when we do this show, um
Mhm.
we try not to delve too heavily into the politics part of it, but it still plays a part no matter what we want to say or do. It still
Yeah.
comes in because our country is so politicized that it's like we can't help it, but it comes into just about every conversation, to
Yes.
the
Yeah.
point where I was just thinking recently we need a show, another show, even if it's, maybe half an hour or whatever, called Witches
Mhm.
Votes or something like that, and where
Mhm.
witches can come together and they have their running show of just discussing politics, the new thing that came
Yes.
up, and what can we do to help, not just talk about it, but to help, like how you said,
Yeah.
Act.
you do different
Action.
rituals or different things that you do, but things that you can say at the end of the show. These are some of the things that we can do for this particular situation.
Yes.
How can you
Yes.
help?
Action.
Or
Yes.
if they have some ideas in the audience, or in the chat about the things that they have found works. You know what I mean? Because as much as we recently, when we did Witches Fest, remember when you saw people walking through the street, they had Witches Votes signs up, and I think they need a voice.
Yes, they
I
do.
think they
Yes.
need to have their
Yes.
voices out there and have a show, because witches have a tendency to, or pagans have a tendency to not want to speak politically too much, because then people might say they're siding with whatever, whatever. And I think we need to stop doing that, stop sitting on the sidelines and
Yes.
actually
Yeah.
put something out there that is a political part of because witches are all parts of it. And our politics
Absolutely.
are going to play a part no matter what, good, bad, or indifferent. And I think we need to have a voice put out there. So I'm thinking heavily on seeing who we can get to do that show,
Absolutely.
because
And
I
then
think it's something that can go
Hey.
on.
it's
Yeah,
it's not only politics either, it's a humanitarian issue at this point.
yeah, it
Yes.
is.
It's
It's
also an
it's all
environmental
part of
issue,
it. Yeah,
you know.
because you're speaking about what we're hearing about, because we hear news on these things every day. But
Mhm.
it's like, and we're all appalled by different things. But we're like, okay, let's discuss it and then figure out some things that we can do to help counter
Action
that.
steps.
Yeah,
I have
Action
exactly.
well,
steps.
I have a rule with my coven. I have a rule with my clients. You're allowed to talk about it 3 times. After that, you're not allowed to bitch about it. You make a solution
That's
oriented
it.
plan.
Do
That's
something.
it. That's
Do
it. You
something about it,
gotta
about
take
whatever it is.
Mhm.
exactly
That's awesome.
so.
Yeah, yeah.
Gotta go beyond
Okay.
the talk.
So, and that kind of kind of segues into this other one. What would you like to see us witches accomplish?
Ooh.
You see what I mean? It kind of segues into something else, but
Yeah.
already we're saying what we want to accomplish. We'd
Yeah,
like to see
I
ourselves be put out there. But go
I
ahead, tell us.
I think the biggest thing for witches, occultists, pagans, whomever who goes underneath this umbrella is to not be
Mhm.
so afraid of their own voice, which is pretty much what we talked about.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
I might be saying something that's going to piss off some people, but there are some people out there that don't know a damn fucking thing, and they go
Mhm.
out and they yammer. And I know that a lot of us who do know our stuff,
Mhm.
sometimes we stand back. And I understand that sometimes there's a time and place for that, but I feel like with what is going on in our world, we need more of those
Yeah.
voices. We
Yeah.
need more of
Yes.
those people in the community. Like I said, I love being able to connect to people online, but I would love to see you in person. I would
Yeah.
love to
Right.
I would love for you to offer something for the community. I would love
Yes.
to see actually teaching magic, proactive protection, like basic shit that will actually help them change
Yeah.
them from
Yeah.
being to actually find who they are so they can have the grounds
Right.
for critical thinking. Um,
Right.
I would also love to see more witches come out in the political realm. Spoiler alert,
Right.
I would like
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
run in 4 years and see
Yeah.
where it goes. Um,
Yeah.
and I feel like owning the word more as
Right.
well, but like
Yeah.
in the way that feels good and right for
Yes.
them. Also, the trendiness with the witch wave
Mhm.
has come and go, but integrity always wins and
Yeah. Yeah.
authenticity always
Yeah.
wins. And I feel like
Always.
that's why, some of us who kind of stay on the sidelines, I've been silent. Sometimes I'm quiet
Right.
because some of these other people that come out and they say some shit, I'm like, you are so full of shit. And
Yeah.
I wait and I smile and I eat my popcorn.
And yes,
Um,
I walk
Hey,
away.
my popcorn.
yeah. And I'm
Yes.
like, okay, we'll see. In a couple of months, that'll be done.
Yeah.
But I would like to hear more voices, and I would like to hear more voices from different cultures, from
Right.
different
Right.
environments, in different ways, so that we can have more branches and more bridges. Like that's what Crossroads community is all about. Is
Right.
about all people from all type of tradition backgrounds, education levels, whatever, to come together and to share and to
Right.
grow with
Yes.
each other. And that is truly a vision for me, to be
Right.
able
Right.
to like really inspire that and cultivate that.
And
Beautiful.
you mentioned the words critical thinking and all of that, and I think that's should be a part of it. The critical thinking, civics, just plain old
Yes.
sixth
Yes.
grade civics.
Ethics, man.
Yeah.
A lot of people
No.
here just don't even know or
Yeah.
know.
Or
Even
ethics.
in the political part, I literally have realized a lot of Americans don't know American history civics
No.
wise at all. So when
No.
they
That's
make
barely taught anymore.
certain comments, and I'm sitting there going, okay, I am not American, but even I know this is now how that particular thing works.
Yeah.
You do know that if you
Yeah.
study civics, even sixth grade civics, or even watch that, what's that name of that show that used to be on, that they sang? I'm
Oh,
just
oh, oh.
till I'm
Yeah,
only a
yeah. Back in the
which one is
day.
that one?
Yes.
You know what the one I mean?
Schoolhouse
Schoolhouse Rock.
Rock.
Schoolhouse
Yes.
Rock.
Oh
And
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just like,
Yeah. Yeah.
they taught you civics as to how the government works, and adults don't know that, and they're
No.
American born.
And they go
Because
Listen,
by
we don't.
their
by what
skill
they
set
say, you know they
now.
don't know. And I'm sitting there going, wow,
Yeah.
But anyways, that's just what I mean by I want that show put into action because I think they need an education at the same
Call me
time.
back. I'll come back. I'll
Yeah, totally.
Well, you know what? If you
Absolutely.
know,
No,
I'll tell you,
absolutely,
Megan or
Megan.
Dr. Witch, either one, I don't care. Or rather, however you want to say it. Um, Maybe yourself and maybe a couple of other people, and we run a political show, even if it's once every 2 weeks or something
Mhm.
like that,
Yeah.
just to voice opinions and anybody that want to come on and input and stuff like that, because I think we need to have a voice with that, and it's just
There needs to be a venue, a platform for the
yeah,
for the
yeah,
for the
and there's none, and I
conversation.
think we need to do something about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Let's go
um,
to the next question, which is
yes.
really asking, what do you have coming up? What's on the agenda? What's next? What are you doing? Where can people find you? What's coming up
So,
next?
Crossroads Community has their next event coming up on September 21st and 22nd. It's
Okay.
called Wicked Weekend. So I will have vendors there, but I'm also teaching. I'm doing educational things. And we're also having a ceremony for Maboon on the 22nd. So I can't believe it's
Where is this?
this is in Carlstad at Bolero Snort Brewery. Because
Excellent.
the side project, I have a side project to the side project. It's called Brews and Brooms. So we go to different bars and breweries to once again break down the taboo of witches and all that, but also supporting small
Yes.
businesses. So I'll be teaching divination practices on the Saturday, and then I will be doing our ceremony on Sunday. And then Sunny Vibe Crystals, Shauna, the amazing tap dancing medium, and I will be
Yes.
doing our psychic variety show where we break down people. Well, I'm called sour, she's called sweet. We're the sweet and sour patch psychics. So I tear them up, I tear them down, she lifts them up. And then I will be at Lunar Fair September 17th. And then October, I am not a person. I will not be Megan at all. I will only be Dr. Witch because I have
Right.
something
I
going
don't blame you. I don't blame you one bit.
every day. I'm very excited for a new ritual practice that I'm bringing out. It's called Ancestral Fire. So I will be offering that in 2 different places in October. And also Hecate's Crossroads, which is also another intensive ritual journey that I will be offering that a couple of times into November as well. I will also be offering
Fabulous.
a ritual with Santa Morte in November. I'm very excited about that because I've been working with her for a while and she keeps bugging me, and I'm like, okay, I guess we got to do this.
It's time. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Then
That's awesome. And they can
fabulous.
find
That
all
is
of that information on the screen that she's passing. They can find out about all those things
Yep.
again
yes.
on there. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. And actually, I was going to ask you about events, but you've already mentioned all of that. So I guess, and also we're letting you know that, is there anywhere else that people can reach out to you other than what you has been on the screen, or is that good?
Yeah, that's
Other
good. I
than
mean, you can find
Instagram.
me on Facebook. It's under just Dr. Witch. But I'm pretty accessible. You can find me. I'll be in Montclair actually tomorrow from 1 to 5 too. I'm always doing something, but I'm always accessible. And I am working on a book as well, so hopefully that'll be out soon.
Yes, absolutely, and fabulous.
Yes.
I can't tell you, I'm so excited you were able to make it. So much good stuff. And y'all, I'm
Yes.
going to say, because I am a bias, I know Megan, Dr. Witch, and I know her work. You know, you said the word ethics, and I know who to go to for certain work. And
Yeah.
you are one
Absolutely.
of them. Yes,
Absolutely. It's
right
been
on.
such a pleasure
Thank you
having
so much for
meeting you.
having me, ladies. It was wonderful to be
It was
here.
awesome.
I loved our conversation, and I
Okay.
thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Now, a word about the other shows here at Magical Witchy World TV.
All right, so we are back for astrology time, and for September's astrological forecast, we're going to do it for the signs beginning tonight with Aries, Taurus, Gemini, and Cancer. So, for Aries, the monthly
Hmm.
affirmation is I have the power to create life that is filled with adventure. Ooh, I love how that sounds. I have the power to create a life that
Yes.
is filled with adventure. If you're ready to get your act together for autumn, you're in luck because your Aries horoscope for September 2024 is swooping in with the focus and productivity you need to get down to business.
Mm.
So, Virgo season's energy is sweeping through your life like a cleanup crew, okay, heading through September. And the new moon on September 2nd, that was a great time to consider what habits you should add to your routine in order to live a healthier lifestyle, because a lot of it's based on your health this month. Just keep in mind that your cosmic ruler Mars is squaring off with Delulu, Neptune at the same time. So, formulating a clear plan could be harder than it sounds, but listen to your heart. Listen to that
Mhm.
gut that you have. And just after the new moon, the love planet Venus linked up with the south node in your relationship zone, which allowed you to release any codependencies or unhealthy dynamics in any of your partnerships relationships. Then on September 17th, the lunar eclipse will ask you to examine what internal issues you've been running from as you've been distracted yourself with work and responsibilities.
Mhm.
Is there something in your subconscious that you've been avoiding? And then, of course, we have the eclipses aren't easy, but the cuddly vibes of the autumn equinox on September 22nd will warm your spirit. So use this as an opportunity to lean into your relationships and build more closeness with a partner as
All
best as
right.
you can. There you go.
Yes, right on Aries. Is that you, Star? Are you an Aries?
Yes, Aries Taurus kind of leaning.
Yes,
So yeah.
there we go. Well, here we go for Taurus then, so you can get this piece. Your monthly affirmation, Taurus. My dreams are coming true right before my very eyes. That's a fabulous statement. Again, your affirmation for Taurus. My dreams are coming true right before my very eyes. Your Taurus horoscope for September 2024 is filling you with inspiration thanks to Virgo season lighting up your chart's passion sector. So open your heart to some new creative and romantic sparks. As the month begins, Chaos Agent Uranus stations retrograde in your sign. You're undergoing a long term period of upheaval, and the next few months give you some time to process any sudden changes that have gone down since the year began. The new moon that we just went through back on September 2nd was the perfect time to hatch a plan to bring more joy into your life, whether that's by making more time for play and leisure or by pursuing a romantic interest who's been slowly proving their worth. The lunar eclipse coming up on the 17th is an eye opening one, and you may find yourself looking at your friendships in a new light. If things are out of whack and some of your social connections are leeching your energy, you may need to consider distancing yourself because you deserve the space to find a more supportive community. The autumn equinox hits on September 22nd, and now that summer's over, you may be ready to clean up your habits and get your schedule a little more organized. Find a healthy balance between work time and free time. On the same day, your romantic cosmic ruler Venus makes its way into your relationship zone, making love especially luscious and partnerships extra sensual. Now's a beautiful time for connection. Yay, Taurus. A earthy sign.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so now
Mhm.
on to Gemini. So your monthly affirmations is I have faith that everything happens for a reason. That's an interesting one, right? Because
Mhm.
to have faith that everything happens for a reason. And we know that's true, even though
Right.
sometimes when it's happening, we're like, oh, dear goddess, no.
Yeah. Yeah. Not good.
Okay, so the detail oriented vibes of Virgo season are inspiring you to take care of business in your home life. But your Gemini horoscope for September 24 will still has plenty of flirtatious fun in store for you. The new moon on September 2nd was a great time to take care of chores or house repairs, kind of in the fix it mode. Or if you're
Mhm.
feeling more intense, perhaps reach out to some family members to tackle some unfinished business. Okay. Conversations with relatives or domestic partners will be even easier once your cosmic ruler Mercury hits Virgo. That happened, what, 2 days after the
Mhm.
second. So around the
Mhm.
fourth or so. And it may have made things a little bit easier for you. Romance will rev up about mid month as abundant Jupiter in your sign forms a lucky trine with amorous Venus in your passion center or sector. Plan a date night or just channel all this sparkly energy into a creative project instead, whatever suits your purpose. Your personal life has commanded a lot of attention this month, but professional projects come to the forefront under the lunar eclipse on September 17th. Tap into your heart and get real about what trajectory you'd like to be on career wise. So you see all that's happening right around that time. By the time Libra season starts on September 22nd, inspiration will be flowing. So you may feel motivated to pursue a passion project or try out a new hobby. And lastly, chit chatty Mercury hits Libra on September 26th, so fire off some flirty texts, especially under the clarifying rays of the Mercury Kazimi at the end of the month. All right, so don't forget all that.
Mhm.
Okay.
Right on. Now for you Cancerians. Cancer, your monthly affirmation is I leave everyone better than they were before. I leave everyone better than they were before.
That's awesome.
Summers, yeah, that's really cool. That's really cool. Here we go, Cancer. Summer's your season, but you might be feeling excited to see it come to an end, even as your Cancer horoscope for September 2024 is bringing you loads of energy and lots of fun. Ye- fun, yappy vibes. Just fun. You're going to have a lot of fun this fall. Virgo season lights up your communication sector, and the new moon that we just had on the second inspired some really meaningful conversations. Words are coming with a lot more clarity now than they have been in a while. And it'll be even easier to express yourself once chatty Mercury enters Virgo on September 9th. So that yappiness, we have a lot of communication happening for you, Cancers. High octane Mars also hits your sign during the first week of September, giving you an exhilarating boost of willpower and motivation that helps you slay your goals through the rest of the month. Put this moxie to good use under the lunar eclipse on the 17th, as this is a time to let go of outdated beliefs and open your heart to higher aspirations. You'll be ready to cozy up at home with a PSL once the autumn equinox hits on September 22nd, but you may want to do so with someone special as Venus enters your sex and dating sector on the same day. At the end of the month, Mars in your sign vibes out with down to business Saturn, giving you the stamina you need to pursue some long term goals. Right now, hard work pays off.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. We'll move on to
So next
tarot.
week, yeah,
Okay, go
but
ahead. Go
next
ahead.
week we'll be hitting what we'll be doing Leo, Virgo, Libra, and Scorpio. That'll be next
Yes.
week.
Yes, yes,
All
yes.
right. Tarot time.
All right. So,
You
what are
have
we pulling
anything
cards for
particular?
tonight?
We'll pull up with something. So I've been listening, we have all of this news about this upcoming eclipse on the 17th and how we need to be paying attention. And eclipses often have us go through expedited, let's say, because we're going through a full cycle in a very short period of time during that
Yeah.
eclipse.
Mm-hmm.
So let's pull a card just to draw our attention to what's something we need to pay attention to for ourselves in this upcoming eclipse on the 17th.
Yeah,
So it's
that's
just some
awesome.
days away. All right. What's
Okay,
something that we need to pay attention to for ourselves?
okay. So let's pull that card.
Ooh, we.
Ooh, okay.
I have what do I have? The nine. Yes, the nine of pentacles. Nine
Oh,
of
that's very
pentacles.
awesome.
Lovely energy. I love this card. Yeah, this is it is earthy. We were just talking about our Taurans. Um, this is earthy energy, but it does speak to the and I look at this and I remind myself of longevity, the long-term goals, the efforts that we put in. We just heard about Cancer saying, pursue some long-term goals right now. Hard work pays off. That's the energy of the Nine of Pentacles. Long-term goals, hard work pays off. This woman is really reaping the rewards of years and years of dedicated hard work. Note the little snail down there, that little lump of
Yeah,
that little
yeah. I
spot,
did not
that
see
little
that. Look at that.
that little snail echoes the drape of her dress. So it tells you that she's put a lot of effort and time into gathering those riches, and having her hand resting on a coin tells you in her garden, it's full of riches. It's a sensuous, well lived life. So when I look at that eclipse coming up, what I need to really pay attention to is, the cycling through. How am I achieving goals? How am I focusing myself on the long-term prospects? And I really have to keep my eye focused on that. And if I need to course correct or make adjustments, I need to perhaps look at what may be getting shortchanged, what may be getting shortchanged in this idea here of having that, living well and living comfortably in the long term. What may be getting shortchanged in the process.
Yeah. Okay. So I got, can you see that? The
Oh,
Four of
there it is.
Swords. Yes,
Ooh,
the
the
Four
Four
of
of
Swords. And
Swords.
if you look at the top and then you look at the bottom, look
Yes.
closely at the bottom and everything. And I saw so much there, as you were saying, as to
Mhm.
what to pay attention to. And I'm looking at the whole thing and I'm looking at it. And it's so funny because I see her as being on guard,
Mhm.
um,
Mhm.
watching her back at the same time, putting her back against a wall. Um, so she's being in a very protective mode, but it's
Yeah.
not just of herself, because what I noticed was the greenery on the top, and then on the
Mm.
ground are the greenery that looks like someone cut it off or something like that,
Mhm.
before it's time. And because it's still green, it wasn't brown or orange
Yes.
like it was naturally had fallen. So
Yes.
it's like she set up all the swords and she had it there, but at the same time, it's not just setting up; it's kind of paying attention to why are they there. What
Gotcha.
what does it mean? Is it there to serve her, or is it not just? It's not just there to protect her, but also to protect her her environment.
Mm.
You know, like the things around her
Okay.
that is part of her lifestyle or their
Right.
lifestyle. It doesn't mean it's necessarily her, but you know, and the whole part of it. And it's
Right.
not just it's building up walls. All of it suggests extreme protection,
Mm.
but
Okay. Yes.
not just of herself, but of the environment around her and what's there. Because people see things that are lush, and their first thing sometimes they think is, "Oh, I want it for myself," and they may take
Yes.
some for themselves, but at the same time, they leave a lot unchecked on the ground, so they've damaged a lot to get a few.
Yes. I
And
mm.
I see it as we are stewards of the earth. That's the way I
Yes.
see us. And if we are
Yeah.
stewards of the earth, we have to not just protect our livelihood and ourselves, our bodies, but also our environment. We are meant to
Yes.
be the stewards of that.
Without
And to
question.
hold people accountable for that, as to not just accountable, but to make them be aware of their
Yes.
environment and don't be wasteful about it. Take what you need without having to destroy so much of it,
Yes.
without without as if it's plentiful for life when we know it could easily be taken away and there'd be nothing but barren, you know.
Well, yeah.
So
If you
you know, as you made me think about all of that and the intensity of things with the lunar eclipse and everything else, I
Mhm.
started seeing all these things and I said, you know, okay, we need and despite all of that, she's extremely alert to all of this and knowing that is something that she has to convey in one way or another.
Yes, yes, convey in one way or another,
Yeah,
absolutely, because the messaging is important with those swords.
yeah,
Fabulous. That's good stuff, and it takes us back to that concept, which I am on board for, which is that new program where we have some talk about and
yeah.
activities on, what do we do politically,
Right, right.
politically engaged, things of
Yes.
that
Yeah.
nature.
We don't have a
So,
choice. I don't think we have a choice, because if we're going to
right.
be stewards of the earth, we have to become, we have to get off our asses and do what we need to do. Bottom line.
Exactly.
Yeah. Bottom line.
Precisely. Precisely. So, wow, what an
So,
awesome show tonight. I just
yeah,
want to
yeah.
say it was
Um,
fabulous.
yes, absolutely. And next week, our guest will be Laura Solanges. I hope I
Yes.
pronounced that correctly. And that's next week, September 13th.
Yes.
And we wanted to say thank you, um, to everyone in the chat and to Megan, aka Dr.
Mc-
Witch, for being with us
Yes.
tonight. We want to thank everyone so much because we are always pleased to have you here. And again, please keep in touch with us. Let us know what you like, what you don't like, what you'd like to hear more of. Because we
Yes.
always open. If you have recommendations of people that we could interview, please do let us know. And
Absolutely.
again, what should they be doing?
Like, subscribe, and share.
All
Thank you
right.
all so much for joining us
Yes.
tonight. Again, a huge thanks to Megan, Dr. Witch. Um, and we will see you all back here next Friday. Have a great week, everyone.
Have a great week, everyone. Take care.